I'm very honored to be back. Excited for our chat. And yeah, I guess it's year two. We're in COVID now. So things are
Yeah,
much different from the last time we chatted.
yeah.
I know it was just the beginning of things. We didn't know what it was. It was uncertain. It was
Oh yeah,
lockdowns.
because it was really
And
at the beginning, wasn't it, that we chatted? It was quite early on, I think.
I think so. If I recall, maybe
Yeah,
in April we chatted.
yeah, sounds about
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So it was, the beginning of lockdown. So I'm in great spirits. I'm happy to be back. I'm still a little bit out of shape. Still the same guy. What can we do?
Well,
And still renovating my new home.
I wouldn't want that to change, man, because you're a dude. So, and I really dig your social media stuff. So I can see the genuine. I can see the how you're putting yourself out there creatively wise. And with this film, is it Minutes with Micah? Is that right? Mika.
Mika, yeah, minutes with
Sorry,
Mika.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I
No
really
worries.
appreciate that little posty design that's on the film freeway as well. The one I put
Yeah,
up.
no problem.
Um, but yeah, um, hats off to you. And I think it's really, really great. And last year, with your kind of almost Bollywood comedy, I loved it because it kind of
Yes.
connected with me so much. Because my missus is from a kind of rich Indian family, and yeah, it hit me. It kind of like as soon as I saw the poster, it was super
Yeah.
Bollywood. And I love that, and and it was really funny. Everyone that I spoke to about it after we I showed it to and the team and all of that. And that's something I regret last year is not showcasing all of the films uh, over a weekend or online through our channel. So that's something
Mhm.
I need to rectify. And this year, I'm not making that mistake because I kind
Oh,
of it's really difficult to do the live show and all of that, and then put all the films in. So we're doing a full day of showing all the officially selected films, and then
yeah.
the day after is our quote unquote live event and the kind of award winners and honorable picks and all of that because we got some really
Yeah.
interesting judges again this year. And yeah, Minutes with Mika, how did that start? Because I think it's brilliant. I really do think it's excellent, and it's so
Yeah,
different.
thank you.
The reason I mentioned your previous submission is
Mhm.
because it's so different. It's such a departure for you from what I
Yeah.
know of you in terms of your films and your
Mhm.
performances. It's so different. I loved it. I loved it. So when did that start? So how did that kind of come to be?
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Um, just retracking a little bit from last year, story of my life. I listened to our podcast recently. I would think it was last weekend.
Yeah.
I remember promising you a part two. Since then, a part two and a part three came out. Did you see the whole thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I loved
Yeah,
it. Brilliant. Yeah. It's my cup of tea. Yeah.
yeah. So we were able to wrap that story. I was laid off, and I was getting on fire. To be honest, I was going back to auditions. I was getting more gigs. Everything was sort of coming to plan, and then I got called back to work, and so I had to wrap up my commitments. I got called back in September. Lovely company. They pay me loads. The job is very, fairly easy for me. I enjoy doing it, helping my clients with car parts. We're in aftermarket car parts. But every year, there's some festivals that I like to hit. Like I like to hit yours. I like to hit the 48 hours. So I think, again, it was just sort of morphing the story of I wanted to do something different. I wanted to showcase a different side of me. Um, in one of our feature films that's in post production at the moment, I cry in it. So I feel like I've unlocked the crying feature.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome. Yeah.
and it's a different departure from, people thinking Manny is fun or Manny's daring, Manny's fun to be around. So I think for the good part, to be very honest, I was hell bent on sort of breaking away from that image,
Yeah.
because I think I've done a lot of funny stuff, comedic roles in my commercials and throughout my life that I was like, you know what, I need to change.
Yeah.
Um, I felt that this stalker character was already, you have some ideas that you form
It's in
while
your
watching
subconscious.
movies.
Yeah. It's in your
Yes, it's
subconscious.
subconsciously. I'm like, okay, that's badass. I like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like some
Yeah.
elements from there. So I formulated The character was already formulated. The story came about when I put together a team for the 48-hour film festival. So I got Sam Tomset, which was the producer of our film, and I got Michael Bruno. He's with Maestro Media House, a great buddy of mine. We've shot things in the past, and I got him on for the 48-hour film challenge, and we were given a three elements: something in the movie, the genre of the film, and it was one character.
Did you do? Was this for the 48-hour film challenge? Did you do everything in 2 days?
Yes.
Yeah, you've got a talented team there.
Correct. Yeah,
It
thank you.
seems like you spent more time on it, but in a that's a
That's right.
positive comment. I think it was you did so well in 2 days.
Those that film was actually supposed to be 3 minutes. So the original version goes straight to vlogging and me going after the girl.
Right.
But we did want to stretch the film out. I wanted to add some more scenes of myself in it as well, sort of explore, do different things. So we got together in February and we shot some more so we can, extend the film. It's like a extended director's cut, and we can get into the 1 in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you have that option this year, because I'll tell you the truth, I was gunning on at 3 minutes. There's a new idea that I have, much sort of the little chase sort of thing that we did with Story of My Life.
Yeah.
It's called Briefcase, so I'm putting it out there. It's another promise I'm making.
Awesome.
I had an idea for Briefcase. We shot it, and I don't think I was fully content with what we shot, and it has nothing to do with anybody. I just think all the players came together that day. We all had our own idea. We shot it. I looked at the end product, and it needed more work. So, we have a film that's already completed. So I put in minutes with Micah this time around in the festival.
Just on that note, obviously everyone was looking at the same script, but do you think that everyone was kind of running parallel to each other and not making the same film? Do you find it was something everyone was looking at the material in different ways?
For Minutes with Micah, you're saying?
No, for the other one that didn't quite work.
Oh, Briefcase. Yeah. You know what? I think what really happened there is I executed Briefcase in the same scenario that I did for Story of My Life.
Yeah.
But with Story of My Life, I had my cousin. I have some real good friends that understand me. Versus I feel in this situation, I went ahead and I hired a team, much like Minutes with Micah. And the product came out as it did. So there are some things that are missing, and maybe we try to rush it a bit too. I think sometimes it comes down to scheduling and the people that are available. Somebody's only available in the morning, somebody's only really available in the afternoon. So that juggling, I guess, becomes tough. And I guess directing and acting, when you're wearing a lot of hats, you can sort of a little bit lose track of what is shot and what your end goal and your end product's supposed to be. And hats off to them, though. They did a really good job. But what's happening with Briefcase is I'm spinning it. We're doing a series with the new team that I've got. They're called Brar Films, so I'm very honored. I'm a Brar myself. That's my last name.
Yeah.
So I got a team, Brar Films. We're spinning the idea. It's going to be, instead of a 3 minutes, we're going to stretch it out in parts. There's going to be more dialogue. And again, we're going to slow pace it now that we have the time with it. So I'm quite happy the way it's turning out regardless. We have a base plate of what we shot. So we know I could show them something of what I feel, and then they're just going to pick it up from there.
Sounds healthier sometimes, squeeze. If you just tried to squeeze, for me, I think a 3 minutes version of this film that you submitted, Minutes with Micah, I think it would have been nice, but I see where the reasoning for having a longer film. It's not just, let's just pad it out. It really makes sense to have the extra material because you see the motivation. You see even like close-ups of your hands that may have already been in the previous cut, like your frustrations with like your obsession, the obsession shines through, and I absolutely love that. I love films about obsession, like The Fan or 1 Hour Photo.
Yeah.
Woodsman is like he's fighting with his inner demons because he's Kevin Bacon plays a paedophile in that film, and
Uh-huh.
he lives across from like near a school and almost like resisting his the evil urge he has inside him. And I really, yeah, I think you really, really did a great job of what you set out. Like, right, I'm seen as the fun-loving guy, Manny the dude. Have a good time, have a good drink, and all that, which is all true. But then
Yes, that's the
you
thing.
can get typecast so easily. And I think this is going to do you the world of good. I really do believe that, and I really hope it does, because I think it's a really good performance, a really good idea. It's so on the money.
Mm.
And like, I can't remember what the film's called, but there's a film with the guy that's got the really good hair like yours in from Stranger Things about he's like a Lyft driver or Uber driver, and basically turns into a serial killer. He picks people up and kills them, and
Uh-huh.
he vlogs the entire thing. He films everything,
Yeah.
and this sits nicely next to that in terms of like commentary on modern media and obsession, and not picking, like, for her, not picking up on signs like what's that? What's the? It's not a spoiler. What do you say in the? Oh, do you know if they sell clocks or something like that? And
Correct.
it's like a fruit
Yeah.
stand or something, or a vegetable store. I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And
We
we all say stupid things, and then they're following, the shot where you kind of vent your frustrations to the world. And I kind of like the low angle, and you're like shouting out and all of that. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I know everyone that is going to see it because we've got a smaller team this year. It's just myself and Nadia and a couple of other people.
Nadia,
We're
Gladys.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
Nadia's kind of uh, helping with so much of it, and she produces the this as well. We kind of work on the who we're going to speak to and all of that. And yeah, I think it'll do really well in festivals. I think it'll do really well for your show reel. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think. How did you write it on your own, or did you write it with someone else?
No, it was I was just gonna get into that.
Hmm.
When you do a 48 hours, they give you the elements at
Oh, like,
7 p.m. on
okay,
Friday, and then you have to submit the completed, edited final product on Sunday at 7 p.m.
yeah,
So at 7 o'clock, I logged on with my teammate, my producer. We got the elements. We got the line. We got, alarm clocks was a thing that was in it. So I'm showing my friends, and they're like, what is going on? Like, why would you say alarm clocks? Like, you can come up with anything better. And
yeah,
is much like the character, right? So some of the things, some of the elements are in it for that purpose. But, for the extended cut, we just, with her YouTube vlogs, we've added some sort of scenes of me, a little bit extended that is shaving, a little bit just, extend, cut, and added some of those. We came about the story, me, Michael, the director, and Sam, the producer. They said, Manny, what you want to do? So we had the choice between Western and thriller, suspense thriller, Western. And I said, okay, like, we can do Western, but it is COVID. We started looking at the locations, some of the connections we have, putting our ideas out. And for sure, thriller suspense was something I wanted to do more anyways. So we did suspense thriller, and the three of us cooked up a story.
a creepy one.
Yeah. Yeah, at that moment, I think at 10 p.m. we got
Yeah,
together. I was
yeah.
hungry as hell. I didn't eat. It was again a work night. We cooked up the story, and I think we finalized it. I finalized it at 4 p.m. or
Yeah.
4 a.m. at night. That's 6 hours
On
of
a
us
Saturday
going back
morning.
and
Yeah,
forth. Yeah, I like this idea. I don't. I didn't think it was solid. I didn't think some ideas were solid. At 4 a.m., we put the cat in the bag. We said, okay, 95% of it is going to look like this, and then the other 5 is just we're going to leave it up to the magic.
Yeah.
We came together with that story. The girl that we got, her name's Sarah Freya. Very beautiful,
She
cute girl.
smashed it out of the park.
She smashed yeah, she's just knocked it out of the park with the role.
Yeah.
And again, I had 48 hours to find my cast. I didn't have a lot of time to look like who's great, look at demo
So
reels, anything like that.
how did you find her then? Was that someone you knew or?
You know what? I had another story in mind. So I was looking for a lot of females. There's a lot of females that message me, and I said, you know what? Let me just put the word out, place the females on hold, and if something happens, we can release them. Which sucks. I don't like doing it.
Oh
The team
yeah.
that I work with, we
Yeah.
like to mentor and encourage and bring up and new coming talent. So she was one of the girls, one of the 4 girls I held for this other idea that we had. Now that we at 4 a.m. we finalized this, went to bed, up at 8 a.m., 4 hours sleep, back to my friends, and we started looking at that, and I had an hour to choose really my cast. So I
I
messaged her,
love it.
Sarah. She was available. I just went by feel. I went by her pictures. I said, okay, this is somebody that could be opposite of me. That could, give a good sort of a good challenge. A great actor.
Yeah.
So she fit the part already. She's already been doing videos. And when we got her, we said, hey, you just have to play like a parody of you, just with the volume turned up.
Oh wow.
Um,
Okay.
and she was great with the lines, great at understanding her character, and it just made our lives easier, to be very honest. In that 48 hours,
So
sometimes you
was
don't
she?
have time to,
That's so true. Was she an
yeah.
actress?
She's an actor, yeah. She's a very strong actor. She's a theater actor, actually.
Yeah, she was really good. Your casting, I think the kind of pressure you were under with the 48-hour challenge and the 4 hours, even the 4 hours sleep, there's something that makes you like the juice of
Mhm.
producing a short. And yeah, I think the pressure really worked for you in many
Yeah,
ways. And the
it
casting,
is.
and it was very smart. I understand the process. I'll tell you a little secret. I'll keep this in the episode, but
Yeah.
we did 37 episodes of the Filmmakers podcast last year, and we wanted to make sure we released as many as we could within the period of the actual festival. So hopefully we'll release all 15. Last year they stretched out past the end of the festival, and
Uh-huh.
obviously I felt as though it lost a bit of energy. So I offered as soon as I knew you were on the podcast, basically there's a couple of people who wanted definitely on it, just because friendship and all of that, and
Yes.
I kind of offered it to most people. I said offered it to all the official submission filmmakers, saying
Mhm.
you got to get in as soon as possible. There's only 15 slots, so I did say there's 15 slots, but I didn't tell them straight away and clear that up. And
Yeah.
it makes complete sense for your casting your film because you're under a lot of pressure to get it right.
Mhm.
And you've got to. That's how you cast things. Sometimes like actors get callbacks all the time, and they just keep liking, it, and then they kind of shed those people they liked, and he's not quite right. Well, maybe you get him for something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think your casting was excellent. I think um, you could have, if you had time, you could have cast your role, but I think it would have been a mistake to do that. I think you did a really good job, and you really showcased your skills as an actor.
Thank you.
Um, honestly, it's not. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, as we say
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But I thought I was like, initially when I watched the film, I got right. I didn't know anything about it. That's what I loved. We
Mhm.
didn't discuss what you
That's what I
thought about
wanted.
it.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, what's this? Oh, and then, I thought this was going to be a comedy. I didn't just assume because of your personality and your kind of warmth on the internet and how we spoke last time. But as soon as I realized it wasn't that kind of thing, I was like, yeah, this is good. It's fine.
It's funny because yeah, the first scene seems a little bit like, hey, it might be a nice film, might just be a
Yeah,
little sort of thriller. Um, but yeah, certainly, we up the ante. And if there's ever a part 2, which I'm pitching really hard for it,
yeah.
um, There's going to be, for sure the production value will be up. There might be more few kills. Who knows? Let's see
Yeah.
where it takes us. But I really like the way it all wraps up
Yeah.
in
Oh,
the
I
end.
love I don't really want to give a spoiler, but the ambiguous, kind of ending.
Yeah.
But there's little details I wanted to kind of talk about because I love the minutia, the small things. Um,
Uh-huh.
the fact I don't really want to give a spoiler, but the fake package,
Hmm.
the box it's in, the fact that you
Yeah.
use an Amazon box,
It's an
it
Amazon.
gives it gives a believability
Yeah.
to the person that's receiving it. That's all I'll say about the film. And you just assume it's real because people get Amazon all the time. Uh,
Yeah.
and if a package was delivered here, my missus ordered something I didn't know about. I'd just, yeah, I'll take that in. I wouldn't,
Hmm.
and the door and the hand on the door and all of that. Yeah, it really sold it for me. So yeah, I was like, oh, right, okay, I'd believe that. I'd trust that person with an Amazon package because you get here. I don't know what it's like where you are, but Amazon packages sometimes get delivered by really random people in cars.
Oh,
It's not always a van. Sometimes it's a little micra or something like that. And a lady I recognize quite a few times. And we've just got a new little dog, so I'm very conscious of it being stolen because that's a big thing in COVID, dogs being stolen.
yeah.
And that's the thing. I I almost trust this woman because I've seen her a few times, but she turns up in a car with my Amazon packages.
Yeah.
Very strange. You don't see a normal, a van. So yeah, I think the idea it really works in many ways. And what does he buy? He buys something of hers, doesn't he?
What's that? Sorry?
Doesn't your character in the film buy something from her or order something?
Yes. It's those wonderful
I
glasses, right?
thought I thought that was super sharp because you kind of this is the kind of the biggest thing about it is as in a positive way, you look funny, not like a funny look, but oh, he's such a good dude, that kind of look. That's what I mean. But as soon as
Yes.
you put those glasses on, it's almost like transformed into this further darker, sinister person.
Hmm.
And there's some really sinister. There's like I think it's really well written. I really do. Um,
Thank you.
and the scene with the family on the street, I'm like, oh, this is getting creepy now. This is really getting creepy. Oh, I'll
Yeah.
babysit and all of that. It's like, yeah, okay. I'm like,
Well, it's in
where's
that type
Manny?
of
Where's Manny
neighborhood. Who
going with this?
knows?
Yeah, where's Manny going with this? And that's what I was thinking. I was really engrossed. I'm like, we've seen some. Last year we had a whole mix of films. We had a TikTok video which we accepted, but if we'd have gotten that this year, we wouldn't have because it wasn't even really a film. We've had
Mhm.
experimental films this year from all over the world. We've had animations again. We had a CG animation from Japan, and it's really,
Ooh,
really killer. Um, so we've
I
had a
want to see
really
that. Yeah.
interesting mix. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you'll get to see all of them, and yeah, I was really, really happy about this. Really happy about this. And what was the film shot on? Do you know what cameras we used? Because I'm always curious. What was it?
Yeah, you know
Was
what?
it
No,
Red or
I
Black
don't know
Magic or
because I
something?
think there was two different cameras used.
Hmm.
Um, Initially, we had hired somebody. It's a wonderful gentleman by the name of ESEF. I don't even know his real name. That's what I just call him, ESEF, because that's his Instagram handle.
Right, right,
So
right.
he had a camera, and then Maestro Media House completed the shoot with his camera
It was lovely. Yeah,
this year.
yeah. Some of
Yeah,
those
so
shots.
it's just some of
Yeah,
the touches need to be done
yeah. There's
color
some
wise.
color grades like missing, isn't there?
That's it. Yeah, just very small touches, but it's all there. The funny thing about the Amazon package is that, yeah, at least in Toronto, or at least the people that come around my house, usually it will be FedEx or like Puro or somebody. Sometimes it's a white van. I have been skeptical, sometimes some Hondas and things like that, right? You just don't know in this world. It could just be a person that's delivering it, and again, no real uniform, and some of the
Yeah.
things get left outside,
Oh
so it could
yeah.
be easily stolen. Yeah, like I work from home, so everything's good. I see, from my balcony who's coming, who's not, like a hawk.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it comes down to one of those things where it's like anybody really can deliver, anybody can be an Uber driver. What for me, I thought was that if the audience is going to question me delivering, wearing her glasses, is she not noticing any of that? Just me missing my beard, I'm doing like the Superman Clark Kent sort of switch in that sort of time in the film. So um, I guess as an actor, questioning if she should recognize me or not at that incident at the door, because we just I guess interacted in the film at the grocery market, right?
But you know how that worked. The reason that worked so well is
Mhm.
because of the personality she is. She doesn't give a shit.
Yes.
She doesn't give a shit who delivers her packages.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Plus, she
So
probably has a lot of
because
fans.
she doesn't make eye contact, does she? I
Uh,
don't think because I'm not sure if
I'd
she
have to
does.
look at the footage. I think she looks at me, but she's not thinking
Yeah,
anything other than
about the box
that
or
it's
whatever. Yeah,
me. Yeah, and
yeah.
we just sort of show like sorry, the phone's going off on my house, but
Oh, don't worry, don't worry. If you need to answer it,
um
don't worry.
no, it's I
It's
never answer
it's
my house
it's
phone.
a it's a delivery. You're getting a fake one.
Yeah. It's those scammers calling me.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
For me, yeah, it was more of questioning about that, but I think the idea is that she has a lot of fans, so for her recognizing me, one out of the so many, that's the sort of idea we went with, that she just would not recognize him with the glasses and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the turn that when I put the glasses on and it becomes sinister, I really like that. I really like the moment. So I gotta give congrats to my team. They pulled it off, in that 48, and now we did an extended cut. And
So glad you did the extended cut. I'd be really
I'm so
curious
happy
about the
as well.
shorter one. I almost don't actually. I almost don't want to see the shorter version because now I'm so happy I've seen this one. You know?
This is the main one, I would say. Yeah, that one
Yeah,
was for festival purposes. I think this one is the one we're riding with.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I love all the scenes in the park and all of that. Um,
One thing
yeah.
I wanted to say, Alex, we were shooting with the producer's dog, and we were also shooting with the child, which, by the way, both the animal and the child were fantastic. Um,
Because there's a cliche, isn't there, about never work with children and
I
animals.
was just gonna say that. I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you, yeah, because they say don't work with dogs and don't work with kids. But given the time and it was the extended cut, I didn't have any problem. Maybe I'm just a fun guy on set. I had a lot of fun with Naya. Her mother was
It's the
great.
energy you put out, isn't it? Like if you watch the behind the scenes and interviews with Spielberg about when he shot E.T., he
Mhm,
was he didn't become a child when he directed it, but he made it really fun for them. Like Drew
mhm.
Barrymore and the other kids, I can't remember the two brothers and all of that. He made it super fun for them and engaged with them and respected them. And yeah, that's what makes it work. And it sounds like the energy you were putting across when you were wanting to shoot this was exactly the same as that. It's
Yes.
you make them super comfortable. Otherwise, children that get ratty and aren't happy are the
Yeah.
worst. I was one. We were both one. We were both there when we were kids. So it,
Yeah.
that sounds really positive. That's really great that was a good experience for them as well.
It was. Yeah. I think the better you make it for your crew, the better you make it for your talent. I feel like they're gonna bring that energy into your product. So it's a
Absolutely.
win-win.
Yeah.
And I've always been a guy that's willing to help. I don't think putting down somebody or arguing about the root of the problem really makes that much any sense. And it's like I had to do none of that in this film. So I guess I'm very grateful that I don't come across these situations, but I'm very prepared. But yeah, like I remember Naya, yeah, we just did fun things, behind the scenes and stuff, kept her cheered up. And she was quite happy, lovely girl. And, we let her choose the name of the dog, Fritz. because I think we had another name and she couldn't say it. So we said, just use the name of your dog. And she's like, my dog is Fritz. So we said, okay, the dog is Fritz. So sometimes changes on the fly happen, little things like that, nothing really big.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that I was telling my team for Briefcase, the fun little series that I'm gonna do, and I'm
Awesome.
gonna,
Yeah.
for sure send you the link, and I
Please
want you
do.
to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think the goal is, just to I've been doing this for a good 12, I would say, years on and off. And the goal is just to nurture talent, bring them up, give people a chance. I was there. I thought, I was the man all the time. Even in year one, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get into acting. It's probably going to take me 5 years. I'm going to blow off. Didn't quite go that way. And I'm quite happy. It's never been uh, you can't really call that, you know what I mean? You can't really give yourself a timeline. Things take their own time, and the world sort of revolves and goes around
Yeah.
its course. So um that's what I feel, that these people, some people are great. Some of these guys, I see their demo reels, they're killer. They're not getting any gigs. Things like that are happening. So it could
I
just be that the individual is not marketing themselves right. Maybe they don't have an agent. There's all
Mhm.
these things that I was fortunate enough, and I was, um, I was looking out for myself, and I did my research, and thank God things worked out, and things, just keep working out for me. So that's what I want to do for Briefcases, just to, bring that next tier of talent up, give them a demo reel, help them elevate. Because there's some guys that, sure, they're great actors, and I'm not really worried about them because they book gigs. We're going to
Yeah.
help the other ones here that, are on that cusp. We just need to raise them.
That's
And
exactly what Jason Blum does with his horror films. Blumhouse. He
yeah,
gives he
Bloomhouse.
gives younger directors and directors that have had a bit of a fall in their career, like a lower budget, but you get total control on what you do. And
Yeah.
his ethos, obviously, small budgets, huge profits, that kind of thing. With like Get Out and The Invisible Man, especially
Hmm.
those two. And yeah, I got total respect for that, man. I think it's a wonderful idea because if you see someone that's on a career path and they're doing really well, they don't need that support necessarily. Well, don't necessarily need that support. And I think nurturing young talent is super important, and that's what we've found in terms of the festival as well, is supporting young filmmakers. And I think it's great what you're doing, man. I think it's such a good kind of positive thing to put out there. And when you look back at your, in X amount of years, you look back at what you've done, it it'll give you so much kind of comfort, and it's such a nice thing to do. Being nice and helping
Hmm.
other people in one way or another is great. You get gratification yourself, but you're helping other people, and that's a really wonderful thing, especially the last couple of years, especially the
Yes.
last year. Being able to
Uh-huh.
support people in many ways is great. Like we've got, there was a young filmmaker that made a film last year, and I've not put the post out yet. I'm speaking to her mom about it. She's been really ill, like seriously ill, and Tegan Sellers, we support you, and yeah, it's. I've asked her mum to kind of put a post together, then we're going to post it, and she's just been going through the ringer, in terms of being, and I just wanted to support her, and her mum's super grateful, and
Hmm.
if you kind of pass it forward, you kind of positive energy, it's just going to be so beneficial. And I think the positive energy you put out, even though you made a film about something super creepy,
Yeah.
I think it bared fruit for you, because this is the best compliment I can give it. It's a proper film. It's a proper solid
Thank you.
short film. Honestly,
Yeah.
it really, really, really is. I've only seen like one or two other things that you've done, but
Hmm.
this is really, have you already started putting this in other festivals as well? The longer version.
No, you're the first one. Yeah. We're trying
This
it
is
out
going to
with
do
you,
really
Alex.
well. This is going to do really well. Honestly,
Thank
really
you.
well. I really
Thank
believe in
you.
it, and anything that I can do past this as well.
Thank
Because
you.
I think you're a top guy, and I think this film is excellent. I really, really do. Because the whole thing, like, it's really, really well written. Like the
Hmm.
scenes in the park, I won't say too much, but the obsession of trying to copy her and do his own thing, and the frustrations and all of that, that will connect with so many young filmmakers and anyone that's trying to do something on the internet, become a YouTuber, whatever.
Yeah.
That obsession with other people is massive. I've improved my shot. The last time we spoke, there's this blue wall here.
Yeah.
I just want to create it how I look. I know this is all very YouTuber-y, having things aligned. This room's normally like there's a grenade gone off. It's always messy. If you look at the floor, I've got a 95-year-old person's jacket and hat from Vicky's granddad from years ago.
Yeah.
And it's messy. And I just want to create something pleasant so it looks more professional, because I'm always like clearly you have the last year, is stepping your game up every single time.
You have to.
Yeah. You have to make it like, I'm wearing pajama bottoms, which is but it's like, it's what's here. I'm trying to create the best. Like, upgraded all my gear and got some extra lights and all of that. And yeah, this is not meant to sound like you've never been at this level, but this film is going to elevate you. It absolutely is. I really do believe.
Thank you. Yeah, Alex, it's just, I think, is upping the ante every year. I just do it. I just do it to myself,
Yeah.
I'm
so glad you submitted. I'm so glad you're
just trying to challenge,
yeah.
Just trying to do different. A lot of things I do by my gut, how I feel the day of, the week of. It'll never be something that, I just look at and be like, okay, unless it's the 48 hours. But a lot of things I do want to plan, put in my thought, execute well. So, when things like this come and I do send you a film, that, it's something, it's exciting. It's different. It's surprising. And
brilliant.
It's, I guess, if you want to be better, you got to be real with yourself. You got to check yourself a lot of times.
Absolutely.
You can't let it get to your head, and just challenge yourself. I think a lot of the actors I thought to, I'm going to tell you a funny story. Like, a lot of my friends, especially this year, I don't know, COVID's hit them or the tax man's got them really hard. They're looking at me and they're like, wow, you got a wonderful life, Manny. I think I can do that. I think I can do that. So, a lot of them want to get into the game, but they don't know the iceberg of the 12 years of, not getting auditions, being told you're not good.
I was watching an interview with Jeff Daniels, and it took him decades, almost 30 years, to get a career. It really did. Like, it was like he was talking about the scene that's in the newsroom. I don't know if you see the Aaron Sorkin series about a newsroom, and it's like obviously brilliantly written. Aaron Sorkin's like a world-class writer. And
I did hear the name. Yeah.
Jeff Daniels is talking about the pilot episode, and there's an amazing scene where this college student says, "Can you tell us why America's the US is the greatest country in the world?" And Daniels is talking about this speech he had to give, and he's like, "This scene's mine. This show's mine. I've been working so long," and the way his passion, and he talked about his career, and it took so long to get there. It's when you're not in the game. And you see someone that's doing well, it's not necessarily a jealousy thing. Oh yeah, that'll only take a few years. Like you said, even you said it yourself before. You said, "Oh yeah, I'll smash it in 5 years' time."
Yeah,
it's in small increments. You can then have something that's like, what do you call it? There's Zemeckis grenade from Ready Player One that's like all powerful, and and you get like you get a guest star, a role on a Netflix show or something. It's like, it's all graft and who sees what, and there's a little bit of kind of magic dust that happens. And, I think it's really nice to see your progress, even just in a year, man. It really is.
Thank you. Yeah, that's, I was just going to say, as in terms of, people being like, that looks easy and things like that, sometimes, and it's never really all malicious. It's all fun, but sometimes it almost seems like it's, it's if I went to them and I said, "Hey, move over. Let me take your wife, your car, your boat, and your house, and let me just carry forward." It doesn't work like that,
Yeah.
Um, maybe you see on TV like The Good Doctor, and on the show he makes surgeries looks easy, and maybe he's able to save lives. And maybe, yeah, it is things that we can do, but do we know how to do them? There's a technique. And some of these things, as I grew up as well as a person, they take a little bit of time. I don't think um, I wasn't always like this maybe in the first or the second year. I was maybe a little bit more shy than I thought, and maybe sometimes it shows on camera when you're uncertain, when you don't know your lines. So a bunch of things comes into, you know, in your performance rather than just, thinking you're the part or knowing your lines and things like that. And it's something, I won't go on a tangent too much, but my friends, I tell them, I'm like this other friend. We have another friend who's a cop. We go to spots and we go to places. Not now, we did. And it's not like he wants the whole joint to know that he's a cop. Because if something goes down, they're looking at him. They're looking at our table to save the day. Same thing when I go with my friends, they're like, "Oh yeah, he's an actor and stuff." Um, Whether it be to, hit on girls, or whether it be, just to get some sort of notoriety and stuff, which I don't do. Some of my friends know that very well. It's not how I portray myself. But again, yeah, it's sort of those things where, "Oh, you're an actor. Hey, why don't you perform this monologue for me?" and things like that, right? So it's never really like that. And that's the perfect example that I can give. It's same thing as a police officer. Yeah, he's well equipped, but he's off duty. And we got to respect that, you know?
Totally agree. I see that every day. Like in terms of a technical point of view, I've been doing like video editing. That's how I really started almost
Mhm.
20 years ago at college, and I was editing sports events and creating montages, and that's where my passion for the technicalities of film really came to bear fruit in what I was putting out.
Mhm.
And yeah, that kind of right. I'm going to continue to make things. I'm going to continue to work on things, shoot my own stuff eventually. Because I was always scared to shoot my own stuff because I thought, no one's going to watch this and all of that.
Yeah.
But when I started to really, 5 years or so ago, when I started doing my own shorts or get into professional drone photography, that kind of thing,
Mhm.
I when it's like when you quote a price like for a private freelance gig, like shooting
Yeah.
something. Like the last few days I've been shooting little promo things for a company, and they
Mhm.
think, oh, they almost ask you to justify the price. Well, it's fucking 20 years of experience.
Yeah.
It, it's really frustrating. It's really difficult because they don't really see what they're paying for. I'm like, this is what you get. This is my
Mhm.
experience. Here's the show reel.
Yeah.
Now, pay me what I want
Yeah.
and what I've quoted you, or go somewhere else. I don't say it like that, but it's always pleasantries and you dance around saying that. But
Yes.
it's like it's
I do it all day.
the misunderstanding of
Mhm.
it, man. The misunderstanding of, oh, well, Manny's got all this, he's having a great life. They don't know like the difficulties you may have gone through in your own life. Don't know the financial implications of what your life's been like, the stresses and all of that. And
Yeah.
acting, from all the actors I know, like yourself and many others, it's super stressful. And the anxiety and oh, I'm not good enough for this and all of that. And there's a
Mhm.
lot of actors. There's a lot of actors, and I spoke to some, a good chunk of them for the festival last year as well, that
Yeah.
don't produce their own content, like don't produce their own shorts. And I think that's real. Like you've got to do it, because how are you going to put yourself on tape? Self tapes are great, they really are. But if you
Yeah.
start making short films, like there's an actor from last year. He did a film called Twitch. Michael Chan's one of the judges. He's part of
Oh
the
yeah. I heard
Good
Michael
Arts.
Chan's a Toronto guy, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is a really great guy. I do a podcast with
He
his.
seems like it from his socials.
Yeah,
Yes.
his TikTok's madness. It's so funny.
Yeah, is it okay? I'm gonna add him. Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah, but
I
he's
heard about him.
super talented, and he produced a film called The Only Asian, and it was about I think I get this right, about the agency he's part of will only allow one Asian in the pool of actors that they have, and then he's on a conference call with
Yeah,
this other female Asian actress, and they're like, "Oh, we're at the same agency. How's that possible? That there's only one Asian?" And it's a brilliant. It's supposed to be a comedy, but it's like a commentary on race and everything as well, and it's a brilliant idea. And he produces his own content, like he's smashing it on TikTok. He's very funny. He does this thing about dad jokes as well. That's really great, and he does a lot
yeah.
of voiceover stuff and all that. And yeah, I got more power to you and people like Michael for creating your own content, because we've all got families, responsibilities, Joe jobs, as Michael puts it. And yeah,
Correct.
it's to put your stuff out there. It's brave to produce your own stuff. Sorry,
Mhm.
I started drinking a fizzy drink, and it's really kind of,
No worries.
it's like
It's
kryptonite
late
when I,
night for you
yeah, it's
over there in
kryptonite,
the
like when
UK.
I do these interviews, I like end up burping off mic. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's yeah, you've got to produce your own content. So when
You
did
have
when
to.
I'm not sure if I ever asked you, when did you start producing your own shorts? Have you always done that?
No, you know what? And I just want to retrack and I want to give a shout out to Tegan. We're with you. Um, I think it was during the pandemic. Um, I was listening to a podcast and I was listening to Larissa Mayer, who's a very popular casting director. Um, I had an audition for her recently. Um, and something she said, there's a lot of things that, people say and they stick in your head. This one stuck to me because she was like, the problem that we're having is that some of the actors think they're great, but we can't look at all of them or everybody. Casting directors will get a tape. You could be the greatest actor, but if your tape isn't that great, if your lighting isn't there, some technicalities could be a bunch of things. If your self tape isn't there, they don't have a real reason, or you're not giving them chances to hire you. Let's say that, right? So she was like, for the actors that are not doing anything, or think that they are good or can do other things, they should shoot their own stuff. So my problem has always been, I usually get my mom or my sister to do my self tapes. They'll read in and stuff, or they'll hold the cam. So, after hearing her and hearing a few casting directors, I've decided to get the O-ring for the camera. The O-ring light, I have a blue background. So I upped my game on the gear as well, on the self-tape gears, because I know for the future, this is what's going to happen for the next while until COVID's there. But just getting back to that point, she said, record how you see yourself. So story of my life came about like that. Some of the things that I've been shooting, just before the pandemic started, when I started my job, it was exactly that, like I was like, okay, I'm not acting, I'm not getting any gigs, or the few auditions that I do get, there are a bunch of self tapes. That's what I'm going to do, but I'm not pumping out new content if they don't hire me. And I said, they're not going to hire me in this light, in a comedic light, if I just keep doing, the comedic commercials and stuff like that. So, you know, I needed to branch out, and some of the comedic stuff that I do is great, and I think I do it well, and I'm blessed. And I find if an idea isn't to my humor or my level, I don't put it out. But yeah, just her saying those words was like, okay, well, I got to start shooting my own stuff. So I
So
got in touch with my
yeah,
friends. They're shooting a bunch of indie things. And when we started talking last year, the industry was just on a hold. And sometimes, I can't sit still. I'm like, let's do a part two. Let's do a part three and a four and a five. Let's keep
yeah,
going. I got a lot of juice. I want to be shooting all the time, you know? So I think it just came down to things like that. And a little bit of just believing in yourself, you know,
Absolutely.
believing in your idea, attempting, you know, like I told my guys that we shot Briefcase, I said, hey, don't be discouraged. We tried to shoot something. Failing is doing zero, you know, but if you actually try to shoot some of your own stuff, you try to put it together, you know, at a TikTok level, at a YouTube level, whatever. I just think putting it, just trying is the basis of actually going for the win.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was sort of morphed into, I went to my book of ideas. I started looking at them, you know, sometimes after a few drinks, I look at them in a different light. But it's just perfecting what you have and showcasing yourself now. And I don't think it's easy for everybody. Some people think that it can't be done. I can't form a team together to shoot my idea. It's very simple. I tell my friends this has all the answers of the world. And if you just try, you can make it happen. If you just try to create a Facebook group saying, I need this, this, and this, trust me, people are sitting at home. They want to work, you know,
That's
and then it's
so
just
true.
time of it's
I
just a
mean,
matter of you connecting with the right peeps. Go ahead, sorry.
totally agree with that. Absolutely agree with that because I'm always itching to shoot something. Like I've got this little project that was supposed to be just an advert for a Roman tour company because the city I live in, Chester, is a Roman city, and
Yeah.
there's tour groups in the city and all of that. But I wanted to do like a Roman short film, but it was also a promo and there's a reveal and then the tour logo appears. But then it's
A
actually
Roman short film, you said?
yeah, because
Okay.
the company I'm working with, and it's been storyboarded in that book for 2 years, and
Oh.
with COVID and everything, it got put on the back burner for a long while.
Hmm.
And we shot it's on my social media. We shot a test thing because I wanted to shoot it in anamorphic because I've got anamorphic adapters. I want to shoot it like 240 by 1, really wide, because I think that it there's aesthetic things like of period films, especially that I don't. For me, when I see something that's like Roman or something, I don't see it being handheld. I see it being on
Hmm.
a tripod and wide shots, close ups, that kind of thing. It's just
Yeah.
like little rules I like to kind of stick with the aesthetic I like. And it's
Yes.
actually the enthusiasm after the test from that company. They said, yeah, we've got two people on two black horses. They've got the full Roman outfits, but they're super high end. They're not
Mhm.
cosplay. They're super high end. They look real.
Oh my God. Good for you,
And
Alex. Jeez.
like he says, yeah, we've got this period 2-person boat.
Yeah.
We got a battering ram. Like, and they've said, yeah, we'll do all of this. There's no because it's for them. They're going to have the
Hmm.
short film. They're going to have the promo because I'm going to shoot two things like you did
Yeah.
really cleverly. Shoot it for one purpose, but also have this kind of double thing going on. So it's going to be a
Uh-huh.
short film. I don't know when it's going to get made. It has to be in bad weather. It has to be overcast, and we get plenty of bad weather here. So it's
You
going
got
to
plenty of rain over there.
be hopefully towards the end of this year. If we get shot this year, I'd be very happy. But I have
Yeah.
to, like you did with this film, you have to trust everyone that's involved because there's no budget. But the
Hmm.
company and where it's being shot, they're redeveloping this huge piece of land that this company own, and
Yeah.
it's been turned into a period. Like the whole thing's period. Like we're talking 300 BC, 300 BC, something like. I think my dates are probably completely wrong, but like we're talking over like almost 2,000 years ago with how the
Uh-huh.
land looks. So they're redeveloping the land to make it look like that,
Oh my
and
God. Yeah.
so yeah. So yeah, you got to take these opportunities, and you've really got to shoot your own stuff. And this is the first short that I've really been stoked about. I've got a friend of mine who's going to shoot it for me. I said the only rule is it's not handheld and it's
Yeah.
shot in anamorphic.
Yeah.
That's all I want from that out. And these are my boards. These are the little the little moments that I want to hit. These are the close ups.
Hmm.
Everything else I'm super flexible with, and again, I've got a good friend that's going to do sound. But I said to them, everyone has to be committed. I'm going to be a
Yeah.
bit of a James Cameron tyrant about it because, in terms of this is how we are. But on set, I'll
Mhm.
be, I'll try and be jovial, but
Yeah,
my energy's like, I'm like a, like when you pull a car back and you let it go, it's one of those toys. Once we
yeah.
start shooting, if you're not fully committed, you're gone. You're just gone.
It's a tough thing, but I want to say congrats to you, Alex. It looks like a crazy project you're on, and
Yeah, it is
um,
crazy. Yeah.
it's very exciting and it's very different, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for you. Congrats.
Wait. If I showed you, I won't show you now, but the storyboards are very childlike.
Yeah, yeah. Like
They're
my
like,
stick men for story of my
oh
life.
yeah,
Yeah.
when I draw hands, especially, it's the worst. It looks like it got Mickey Mouse gloves on, you know.
Yeah.
So, oh my god. But yeah, I think you're. I love the way the film's shot. I really do. Minutes with Mika. I think it's really, really nicely shot, and the graded shots. I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to kind of mention it about the thing because it's shot in log, it's shot in a flat profile because this is basically a lot of your shots are like that, aren't they?
Uh-huh.
And that's the kind of look profile I put on. But
Mhm.
yeah, like the shots where the you're talking about babysitting and the child and the mother in the car. Those graded shots that are finished are really nice. So the grade's really nice. It's looking really nice. Um, yeah, and like where the film goes, I really love it, and I love the little. Is it like a little mini pumpkin she picks up at the vegetable store?
It's no, I think it's an orange, or it could be a pumpkin. You're right.
Yeah,
They
like a
had
little
it,
one.
it
Yeah,
was that time for that scene. Yeah, it was around October, I think, November-ish maybe, um, of last year for that scene. So yeah, it could have been
I
pumpkins.
think you've done well with. Okay, this is the big question about the film I wanted to ask, especially in regards to it being 3 minutes and then extending it.
Yeah.
Where was your head at initially when you made the film? It was to make it a 3 minute film, right?
Yes.
Because the reason I ask that is how did you kind of expand on it without really padding it out? Because it's really lean. There's very little fat on the film. Um, so how did you kind of expand on that? And because it's really easy to bloat things out, add scenes in that are kind of just be throwaway, deleted scenes almost. So how did you kind of reprocess, or how did you kind of go about that?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question, Alex. I appreciate you asking. Um, I think when you're on set, like you were saying just earlier, when the car rolls, everybody's got to be rolling with it, right? So the initial idea, I think, and I think this happens to me a lot generally. I'll have a great idea and I want to pack it into 3 minutes. I want it to be bang, 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 and we're out, and the people are wondering like, "Oh shit, I want more," or "What the hell just happened? Let me see it again." Um, while it's a great concept at times, it does not work with every idea. So the 3 minutes that we had, more or less, was what you've seen in the film. I'll tell you what we've added. We've added the picnic scene
Okay.
and the dog scene.
Yeah,
If you really
they
look at
make
it, the rest of them are stretched out.
they make complete sense, especially without spoilers. The picnic scene
Mhm.
adds real layers, and that's where I think the writing really worked, and it really worked because of the obsession of becoming a personality online and with what he
Trying
thinks
to
of
do
her
that,
and all of
mimic
that.
them with
Yeah.
the phone and be like, is it the right angle?
But you had the
I got to give a
flavor.
lot of credit.
Yeah,
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
had the little bit of comedy in there throughout,
Yes.
but really in a really kind of you encapsulated it really well, especially with that scene. That worked really, really well, and that will connect with so many people. Yeah.
It's funny. I got to give a lot of credit to my director, Mike Bruno, with the Maestro Media House. I couldn't have done it without him. And it's just making me think of a story. I was like, Mike, like, I need to be sinister, like, and I'm an actor in this process. So I'm seeing things from a different light. And he's like, Manny, We need that CIBC, Manny. Because I did a spot for CIBC and I'm very soft and nice. And I talk about, how I got my house. And it was a nice little campaign I did for CIBC. And he's seen it and he laughed and he's like, what's going on here? So it's funny that he would pull me back and be like, I thought I needed to be sinister as hell in this one. All throughout. I'm like, we're going to break away any of the many elements that we have. For some reason, I'm hell bent. And he was like, no, for this to work, we need that gentle Manny at times, and then we need that transformation. So he's able to see it in a filmmaker way where, yeah, the script gradually
That's
goes
great
to the
directing.
climax.
That's great directing.
Um,
Yeah.
but it wasn't anything that we really written per se. The picnic scene was a lot of ad lib,
Okay.
and it
It
was from
worked though.
Mike.
It
So,
worked with the way it was edited together and shot. It
uh-huh.
makes complete sense to do that way, and it absolutely worked. Absolutely worked. Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say real quick is that for the mother-daughter scene, we were challenged with the sun moving from left to right. We have cars leaving. We're shooting in between COVID. We're making sure we're masked. We're properly, standing our 2 meters apart and all that. So the work that we put in and the amount of patience that everybody had was just incredible. But I think, yeah, some of these challenges that you have when you're a filmmaker with the sun, with this, with that, with traffic, it wasn't an easy movie to shoot. I'll be very honest. As easy
Yeah.
as I make it look. There was a lot of patience and waiting around to get the right shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's really what it really is the DP and the directing and getting the minimal Manny, in terms of the
Mhm.
calm persona, that really worked. It really worked. If you went for anything else, I think that shows a good director as well. And um
He's great.
I really enjoyed a lot of how it's shot and the way I think it's the opening shot, the very first shot and the pullback. I think
From
it's
the
from the
screen,
screen.
yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. That was
Mm.
really clever. And when
That's our
it's
producer, Sam Tomset, so she gets all the credit for
when
those.
yeah, more power to her. Yeah, and it's when you do something like that and you do something clever. When it's obvious, it's like, oh right, you're just doing something fancy. Oh, you're doing a gimbal shot now. You're doing this, that, and the other. That's why I'm not reticent about doing too much handheld because it is sometimes a little bit too easy. Not easy, but it's not my cup of tea sometimes. And I love tripod and I
Yes,
love mixing it up. There's got to be a reason. It's all about the language of film. And that's
correct, exactly.
when you do that pullback, and I thought, oh right, okay. You're
It
establishing
started getting much
character.
more better from
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. And I love the little thing with her and her partner or producer and all of that. And yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's actually one of my good friends. Shout out to Jack Hunter. He came at a nick of time's notice.
Okay.
Here's a guy, Jack Hunter, who I think is great, great dude, good actor as well. Um, but I haven't seen a lot of him, but we're friends through mutual friends and things like that. And Jack was another guy. This year, the 48 hour came up, and he's a little bit like me. He likes to produce his own stuff and things like that. Very great and keen guy. For some reason, he didn't have anything this year. He called me up. He said, "Hey, Manny, do you need anybody?" He's like, "I'll be a tree. I'll be the telephone." I don't know, right?
It's the
And I
juice you were
said,
talking
"Okay, you
about.
know what?
Yeah.
Just I put him on standby. Again, you don't know what's gonna cook up."
Yeah.
And it came time that, we needed a scene for Sarah, with her man, her boyfriend or somebody. We needed that interaction to break it up a little bit. So we didn't even move the lights. If you see in the shot,
Yeah.
nothing is really moved. Jack is inserted, and we just pulled the camera back and we
Yeah,
shot
that
it.
was good. That was really
Um,
clever. Yeah.
yeah, I got to give kudos to him. He came in on time. It's funny the way he came in. He came in on his bicycle and he tripped while we're filming the scene, the Amazon scene, while I walked to the car
Yeah.
outside. So he was coming in and he tripped. And yeah, great guy. He's another actor who is ready for the opportunity. And when you call him, he picks up and he delivers. He comes in. So this is the exact stuff that I need.
I think everyone delivered. I really do. I
Everybody
think,
delivered. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I'm so happy with everybody's performances on
yeah.
camera and behind the scenes, off
I'm
camera as
I'm
well.
genuinely excited for you now. I really am. I say that to Michael and a few other people I've kind of gotten friends with, because I really do believe, because when I see any of these films, I'm not going to kind of pass judgment across all the films, but it's like, okay, I like original ideas. I really like. I'm open to experimental. We're going to do an experimental award this year because we've had a good number of them. We've had across the board. We've had some really interesting pieces, and I like being surprised as well. And because of your fun living nature and all of that, and I really enjoyed your last film. I thought it was really fun and energy wise, and it was a really nice antidote to watch it.
Yeah.
And I apologize to you and a lot of the other filmmakers for not showcasing all of the films
Oh, no, no. You don't need to
because
apologize, Alex. It's all good.
it's a missed opportunity to pass your energy on. Now, in some way, I'm definitely going to showcase that film as well. But this is, yeah, I really do believe I'm going to pass my good karma onto you, and I
Received.
really believe, yeah, I really believe it's going to be a good step for you, and from a filmmaking point of view, from an acting point of view, even for the DP, the director, the production, it's a really solid short film. It really, really is, because
Yeah.
it'll connect with so many people. Um, I think online festivals, especially with the obsession with filmmaking and Instagram and filters and all of that, and you portray her really well. She's not an idiot in any way or anything like that.
No.
Her performance is really subtle, really, really. She strikes a real balance for
Uh-huh.
online personality. So yeah, I only see positive things coming out of this. I really, really do.
Yeah, no, thank you. And I know you guys have like a big job, and it's certainly, not a given that even, you can showcase every film at times just because there's just a lot of entries and there's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
And it's not like everybody can also come on your podcast. So I'm very grateful for that,
yeah.
Alex.
We
And
we've minimized it to 15 people, and
I
um,
know, you know what? I think it's when you said 15, I said, man, I got to get my shot in there.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
that little fuel up inside me.
It,
And it was like,
I was
okay, I
like,
got to
yeah,
shoot. I got to get in there.
I was like, yeah, I'd love to speak to Manny again because you're a really good dude, and I know if we lived in the same city, we'd be really good friends. I know that,
Yeah.
and we
No,
are,
same,
even
likewise.
though we've got these thousands of miles, we are absolute friends. And
Yeah.
it was the film that it wasn't like, oh, Manny's done something proper. It wasn't that. It was, wow, you created something really, really good, and it's really nice to see the narrative, the writing, especially the writing, especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, you really smashed it out of the park, man. You really, really did.
Well, thank you, Alex. I really appreciate your words of encouragement. It just it fuels me to do better, to be very honest, these words that you tell me.
I just want positive things for you, and I'm the same
Likewise.
with a lot of other people. But yeah, really, really great. Anyway, this is where we come back. There's going to be a jump cut,
Okay.
but yeah, it's uh, yeah. I really love the little poster you created as well. I really kind of little homage, the two lines, and you saw what I
The
did
two
with that.
lines. See, I
Yeah.
saw your two lines and I was going to do them straight. But then because of the title, it's broken. I said, let's break those two as
I
well.
thought that. That's the
It's
reason I was
just
like,
got
I'm
to
going to
go in the
post
gimmick.
this. Yeah. And
Yeah.
we've it's really nice to see that people create the artwork for their films as well, especially on Film Freeway, because you've got super high end films, you've got people that are there's a chap that from East India. His film Exit Through the Window was to help him because his dad was seriously ill with COVID, and
Mm.
uh, it was a way for him to try to recover and distract himself, and it was shots out into a small Indian town, seeing what people are doing, and it's more
Yeah.
of a experimental piece. but we got such a kind of range of experimental films. We're definitely doing an award for that. And
I'm excited to tune in that day because I feel like you guys bring a lot of variety and it's a
yeah,
worldwide thing,
we're
which
open
I
to it.
really
Like,
like.
yeah, I was really open. Like, we've got a film called A Ghost Story, and it was a 20-year-old filmmaker from Argentina, and we've never had anyone from Argentina, which has been amazing. You know, I spoke
Yeah.
to her a few days ago. Her episode's out now. Her interview's out. But
Okay.
yeah, it's really fantastic. We've got another filmmaker tomorrow. She's from the UK, and
Yeah.
yeah, I love I love the kind of diversity and the kind of the backgrounds of everyone and the reasoning behind it, and being able to speak to this chap from India the other day, and
Mm.
it's really kind of humbling, the reasoning for doing the festival as well, because we just initially did it, create it, Chris and I, for just
Yeah.
for us. And I think I mentioned that to almost every filmmaker last year, but it's
Yeah.
really this year, especially, it's kind of taken more on because people are still in difficult places, you know, trying to claw back into some sort of semblance of normality. So
Hmm.
I'm really happy to do it second year. Depending on next year, it'll be with the way the brand is. I'm not sure whether I'll do a third year simply because hopefully there won't
Yeah.
be a reason to do a film about isolation or around it, you know, or so yeah, it's a tricky one that I'm still going to do the Hellbound Horror
Mm.
Festival because I love horror, you see, and
I want to be,
I
you
want you
know what?
to
I've got
to submit your film. I want you to submit it to
okay.
Hellbound because it's
I have a horror one, but it's a feature.
well, I'm happy to help you
We're
kind
working
of
on a
talk about
horror.
it. Yeah,
I can't even talk about it that much, but yeah, it is gory. Let's say that.
love it, love it.
It's a feature, and it's called Snowblind. It's
Ah,
directed by Brian Lockyer.
great title,
And it stars my
great
great
title.
friend Michael Mazurkovich. So I'm very excited for that. Yeah, if you guys have, feature film sort of things,
Well,
I'm in every category. If you really
if
look
you've
at it.
got pre-production or anything like that, shots or storyboards, I'm happy to help promote that at the very least in the festival, the live event. So send any
Yeah,
material over, and we're doing that for
let's see what we have. We have a trailer. We
oh,
have a
amazing.
trailer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Send that over with a little Manny intro, and then
yeah,
we'll put that in the live event at the very least. Because I'm
that's
happy to
really
support
great.
filmmakers from all sorts. You know, like we've got Henry Tran who's he shot a music video on his PlayStation 3. I don't know how he did it
On the
with a
PlayStation?
camera. Yeah, I don't know how he did it with a camera
Wow.
plugged in, but
Yeah.
he's a trumpet player, and it's all like in silhouette with like dotted colors, and his little daughter's in it as well. And he's a mental health advocate, and he's got billboards in Toronto, him and Nightingale. And yeah, he's a really good dude, and he produced this short film. His little office is a closet in his house because his little daughter's like terrorizing the house, you know. So he's got this
Yeah.
tiny little closet. It's like half the size of this or less than that.
Uh-huh.
And I just loved his energy like yours. And I said to him, "Oh, I've got an idea, a script idea for promo for Hellbound. Would you help me with it?" And
Yeah.
he smashed it. He really great. But this year he's done this campaign about mental health, and you know,
Mm.
people's mental health is down the toilet. You know,
For sure.
so the
Yeah, yeah.
repercussions
That's
of
awesome.
having a lockdown for a year or so, or 2 years, is
Mhm.
people's, you know, losing so many jobs and family members dying and all of that. It's got a huge impact on people's, you know, headspace. And Henry did this
Yes.
campaign, and I said to Henry, I'd love to do in some way help you promote what you're doing outside of filmmaking. So he wrote this thing. He was really jazzed about it. He wrote this script about mental health, and he does this kind of rap and song. And I'm like, it was like, holy! My missus watched it, and she was like, oh my god, you got something special there in terms of
Mm.
the message. So
Yeah.
we're gonna cut shots of the films, shots of this interview and other people's interviews together as
Uh-huh.
part of the video. So we're going to produce a music, almost a music video to his monologue to camera.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I can't wait to show that. Can't wait to show that.
Oh, that's a nice and different project. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was really nice. It's like I wrote this little thing for Hellbound. He's written this for me, and we're
Mhm.
producing stuff together, and we're not even in the same continent, So it's been really good fun. And
Yeah.
I'm looking to do that with a couple of filmmakers because I'm gonna when I can come to Canada and not have to be in lockdown. I'm gonna make some things with a few actors and filmmakers as well. And I've come up with this dating short film, and I love to shoot it in Canada. And it's a really simple idea set in the time of COVID. It doesn't have to be shot then, but it's a really, really simple idea, and I can't wait to do
Yeah.
that. But yeah, it's a pleasure
Keep
to.
that idea with you. Yeah. If you need my help,
Oh no, yeah, man,
let me know. Or if
we'll
you're in
be
Toronto,
we'll be on a few beers, man.
you let me
Yeah,
know because I'll show you the spots.
yeah, absolutely. We'll have
Yeah.
a few drinks and stuff
And
as well, man.
you
Yeah,
know what? It's funny. I was listening to the podcast and I was saying like, oh yeah, when things get better, I want to come to the UK. That still holds. I still want to come down.
yeah.
I'm very hopeful.
There's a brand new
Um,
downstairs bathroom and a room. It's all made up. It's got my merchandise that I collected for like X amount of years and my 500 poster film collection poster in there. So once I clear that crap out and sell most of that,
ah,
um, I'll yeah,
you let me know. I
yeah,
have a spot for you too. In my house, and
awesome, man. Yeah,
it's yeah, I'm really liking. I'm digging the vibe that we're helping each other. It's funny. We haven't met each other, and we met last year on this
yeah,
podcast, and the thing you do, Alex, I don't. Maybe people again, it's something that we don't even stop and thank the people that do these incredible things. Like it was just my Mother's Day, and I don't even tell her I love you and things like that, on a daily basis, and I should more. But what you guys are doing is you guys are building a platform for us to showcase
yeah,
in a time where not many people are doing that.
yeah.
So hats off and kudos to you guys for doing this for us.
Yeah, and
And
it's been this year, especially with work ramping up outside the house. It's
yeah,
been a lot more difficult to put content out, but I'm using a website, a service called later.com. So I'm producing a lot of marketing materials and then scheduling it. And then it gets released on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook,
uh-huh.
and then live comments. I always kind of add real comments as well. So yeah, it's I want to ask you one last little thing.
Go
How's
ahead. Yes.
home life and how's everything been since I last spoke to you?
Um, Last you spoke with me, well, I was laid off, so I was still just in my house. I was enjoying my new home, going for nature walks, collecting the government money, the money that they give you to survive. So
Yeah,
uh, I think at that time, like I've never really been off, to be very honest. I think I work, and I work through, and that's all I know, and that's is just something I do. So for me to get 6 months off without any restriction, without any sort of things, um, I used it, yeah, to work. I used it. I should have worked out a little bit more, but um, I did sort of go for walks. I did get my head in a right space. I did get positive with the money that I did have. I did try to, help and keep things moving. Let's say that. And I was back with my agency full time. I was out being submitted for roles and stuff like that, and I felt that I was starting to catch something. I was catching fire. Every maybe second or third audition that I did, I nailed. And then work called. Work called, and I was like, "Oh man, why are you calling me? Please, why?" I'm like, "Just let me collect this government money and let me make more in the process."
yeah.
Um,
It's so
but
difficult
for
that,
sure
yeah.
enough, right? They called me. I wrapped up my commitments, and I've been really grateful. I know some people are like, "Oh, you're at work, this, that." I've got a very wonderful job. I've got a wonderful team. I work from home. It's not stressful. Um, it's been blessed, to be very honest. Going to work, I feel like I'm doing something, but I'm always in my room. So it feels like this extended, never-ending vacation in my room, which my room is amazing. I've got a balcony. I see what's going on. The Amazon guy, delivery guys coming by left and right. Um, I see the people taking walks. I miss that. I have the leisure to step out on my balcony, get the fresh air. It's just I feel like everybody's in the same situation. We have to stay strong. I think mentally it wasn't easy for me the other way around when I got back to work. That's when it was mentally tough for me because I'm like, man, I'm here, I'm working, everything's fine. Um, and that's when the creative outlets come out, and I'm like, yeah, I should get back and I should shoot more of my stuff. Um, and that's what I do. So, 9 to 5, I work very easily, and then the rest is just family life for me. I
That's
spend time with
great,
the
man.
family. We watch TV. I'll go for walks. To be very honest, there's not much to do. So, you wait for the new Netflix film that's going to come out on Thursday. Um, maybe you play cards, you play Monopoly. I've been trying a whole bunch of different foods. I never really ate that much Indian food. I don't know if we said that in the first podcast. Now all of a sudden I'm so bored. I'm ordering Indian food. I'm ordering it, and I'm like, what's going on with me? So yeah, it's a thing. It's trying different foods. You're just trying whatever you're doing though, whatever you're creating, just really happens in your space inside your house,
Absolutely.
or your backyard or whatever, in your neighborhoods and stuff. And I think I've always been at peace. I'm very happy, to be alone. Um, in a sense that, like I feel spending time with my own self is good. That's what I mean by that. It's like, you get to regroup, you rethink, you think, um, you take walks alone, you clear your head, you discover yourself, you discover things about yourself, you learn new things. And again, it's in those walks where you think about life, you think about stuff, you think about where you are. Every year on my birthday, I look at like, hey, did I move up from last year? Did I learn anything? Am I a better person? My birthday is a real good date to check for me on that. So yeah, it was a real different check for me on this birthday where it was like, did I accomplish what I wanted to? No, because like, COVID hit, everything got hit off track. But did I hustle? Did I try? Did I try to make myself better? And all those things were yes. So that's what keeps me going, and that's what I feel like that keeps fueling me to do better. So these days, just to wrap it up, yeah, I work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Every day feels like the same. um some of my customers are upset at me that I don't really remember them, but I have a lot of clients, but they remember me, which is the good thing. So they know that they're getting good service when I deal with them. So
That's awesome,
other
man.
than that, I remember saying that I was going to renovate. Renovations are a little bit in a halt. We are in a lockdown. As much as I want to shoot and I want to get things moving, it's the situation in the world that's sort of at a standstill. You
Hmm.
know, we're renovating my kitchen, and then we're also doing the flooring, and I cannot go in the stores to check the different options that are available. So those things are making it a little bit tough. This is not something that I could order off Amazon or anything, right? So
No, you really need to feel that with your feet. You need to see that properly. Yeah.
correct, yeah. So some of these things, like let's say renovation purposes, it's slow. Even in my industry, I do aftermarket car parts. You want to get a car part for your Mustang, you gotta wait. You're looking to lease a Tesla, which is something we were looking at. I was looking at a Tesla before COVID. I could have easily snatched one off the floor, like a demo, sort of car and things like that. Nothing like that now. Now everything's back ordered. You have to wait because production is, pretty rampant. Everything is just sort of the demand went up, right? So,
Yeah.
like, getting a Tesla nowadays, it takes 2 years.
Yeah, and when ships get stuck in the Suez Canal, that never
That's another one. A lot of the stuff
that
people
was
don't realize.
it's
It comes from across the river. And if it
it's
doesn't
so
come,
nuts. Yeah.
I cannot sell it. So yeah, some of the stuff, Canada, US, we're all guilty. A lot of the stuff comes, yeah, from China and things like that. And I cannot say everything, but there'll be, the one part that's missing and it comes from China. It's not
Yeah,
there.
I watched a thing
So,
online today about Ford stockpiling brand new cars on
uh-huh,
this raceway, this NASCAR raceway, and you can see the racetrack and how many cars from space now because they don't have this particular chip for all the vehicles.
yeah,
So it's like it looks like Sony are redoing their PlayStation because they've got a couple of components that can't be manufactured, or the rate of manufacture is ridiculously slow. So they're actually
yeah,
changing their console to get more out. And this it's really horrible to think about the knock-on effect in the long term. Like
mhm,
I'll tell you something that's a little bit not somber but sad. My
yeah.
future father-in-law had a heart attack on Monday, and
Sorry to hear.
oh, cheers. He he he's in a really good hospital, literally 30, a minute down the road. It's really, really close, the hospital. It's where I was born. It was where I survived COVID in December. Yeah. And he needs to go to see a heart specialist in Liverpool called Broad Green. And they're some of the best specialists in the country.
Mhm.
But he has to wait in hospital a week before he can go there because,
Yeah.
and I thought, yeah, I had this theory, yeah, the backlog of surgeries worldwide, especially when you're on Medicare or whatever the support system is. And
Mhm.
obviously NHS, you pay with your taxes for it, but you have to wait, quite a few months. But the backlog of surgeries is going to be crazy. And a whole thing
Yeah.
came out on BBC today about the backlog of surgeries. And the local hospital here had one case of COVID last week, one in the hospital. When I was there,
Mm.
every single ward had COVID patients in.
Yeah.
The Because the vaccine rollout here has been, we've touch wood, we've been quite, I know Canada's not, it's suffering, and the EU bloc, because we left the EU, um, it's suffering as well because there's so many people in India suffering, and there's so many millions of people. But I feel very lucky because I've managed to have my vaccines because people were not going to get their vaccine, which is crazy. So yeah, Vin, he has to wait a week just to get the scans to check his heart
Mhm.
properly. So it's like kind of ramping up, So I don't know what my point was, but yeah, it's crazy what's happened over the last year, and I'm really happy that you've got this positivity, man. It's not this protective shell. You're carving out like a positive life for yourself in a horrible, horrible year that everyone wants to forget. And yeah, it's I think your energy is infectious, and it's really, really good outlook to have, man. And yeah, we've had our floors done, and it's a pain in the ass. So yeah, you'll
It
get
is.
that sorted because
I
our
will, yeah.
flooring came from a nun's convent, and I was gifted it because it's parquet flooring. I was gifted it because I did a lot of work for these nuns years ago, and
Okay.
it's so random. And the floor came from their dining area. It was 50 square meters, and
Huh.
it's teak from the 20s. And the only people to ever walk on this floor are 12 nuns. Obviously, there's been nuns that have died and passed away, and there's only ever been a number of 12 nuns that have walked on it
Yeah.
barefooted. So
Uh-huh.
the floor got fitted in 1922 in this convent, and so many decades later, they said, "Oh, would you like anything from the thing? Because we have to move to Nottingham." I still support them in Nottingham. I drive down there. I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I just pointed to the floor. I want the floor. And then we got this company to fit it, and the fitter who's great, and the way they do it is amazing. The herringbone and all that. And the fitter who was exceptional. We got a great company. His mom passed away during the fitting, and it was I said, I'll wait Vicky and I will wait for, if he wants to come back and work on the house, we'll wait
Mhm.
as long as he needs, because his standard was super, super high. And,
Uh,
like you're saying, we wouldn't have, if we were looking at floorboards or carpets, there's no way you can pick any of that without seeing it in store. No way.
no, you can't do these things online. I think
Yeah.
I've been the same guy, even shopping for clothes. Like an XL and H&M is a different XL for me at another store.
Yeah.
That's just you're sort of gambling when you do that, right? So some things, yeah, you just cannot order online.
Yeah, and
I feel you.
there's a whole ritual to it as well. When you go and try clothes on or go to these stores, I really kind of like furniture's a big thing because I've got lower back problems, and if you don't
Yes,
try furniture out, there's no other way
correct.
of doing it. The one thing that's opening up, there's a lot of things that are opening up on Monday in the UK, and the
Uh-huh.
biggest thing for me, it's a small thing, it's only entertainment, is cinemas are opening.
Nice. Okay,
So
you
it's
got that.
social distanced and all that. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to spend money on Godzilla versus Kong because I was like, right, this deserves to be seen in the cinema because I'm a big fan of all those monster movies.
Yeah, no, no.
And
And that one needs to be there, yeah, in
yeah,
cinemas for sure.
so yeah, I feel I'm going to go there. It's like my mecca, really. Going to the cinema is almost the closest thing I have to a religion.
Uh-huh.
Um, honestly, it
True.
really, really is. And I
It's
don't know.
true.
I don't discount anyone's beliefs, and I have a lot of positive energy from Vicky's dad's beliefs and all of that. But when I go to the cinema, I kind of like sticky floors and the smell of popcorn and all of that.
Yep.
But yeah, I could go on a whole rant about like soulless cinemas that have got 20 screens and they're not my cup of tea. I like, ideally, I'd go to a cinema that's in the 80s. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really speckled carpet. The carpet in this room is blue with speckles in it because
Uh-huh.
you see it a little bit, this dark carpet here. And
Yes.
because it
At the
reminds
end.
me of when I used to go to the cinema in the early 90s. That's the
Uh-huh.
reason I picked this carpet. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think I'm going to do like a double bill of Mortal Kombat or something as well. So
Oh, okay. I
yeah,
I saw Mortal Kombat
was it good?
on
Okay.
my IPTV and it was good.
Oh, good.
I enjoyed it. But yeah, no, I think Canada we're behind on a lot of that. Um, I think we'll be very lucky if a good portion of us will be vaccinated by the end of the month. Let's see how it goes. I got my shot happening this weekend and then the other one in August.
Awesome, man.
So I'm
Awesome.
thinking for the most part, people ask me, they're like, oh man, I hope, at the beginning of the year, they're like, Manny, I hope, things open up. Let's be real. With, with what's going on, at least I can just speak for Ontario, Canada. The rate that it's going at, like, I don't want to lie to my friends or anybody. I'm thinking 2021 is gone for sure. I'm thinking by 2022, given that the citizens act accordingly, they're safe. I still think maybe summer 2022 looks like a good goal.
Yeah.
And that's just me being realistic, because we don't know, like the variants could creep up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about those. Uh, and I don't know what the vaccines are to combat the variants. Apparently, they seem, a little bit different and stronger and
There's
stuff.
one
So
that's being talked about to tackle the Indian variant here.
yes,
So
yeah, the Indian variant.
there's strategies for that, and um, yeah, it's difficult. There's definitely a stigma attached to giving a variant a country's name almost. So
Yeah,
the Brazilian variant, the UK variant.
yes.
I think there's definitely a different way they should have said this. You could say this is where it is at first identified as something, but yeah,
But not call it that.
I'm a little bit about that because then there's stigma attached to it, and like people need to understand there's billions of, I don't know, it's over 1 billion people are in India.
Mhm.
You're attaching a stigma to a name, and I think that's a little unfair, because there's the UK one, there's a Brazilian, there's Indian, and yeah, I'm not a big fan of how they brand it. You know what I mean?
It's funny here in Canada, in Montreal, it's called Le Journal de Montréal. They published something on their front page with the Trudeau from Trudeau from his trip to India. So sure, he's got up the Indian, get up, and he's got like a what do you call it? A bandana. He has a bandana, he has a sherwani and stuff, full Indian gear, and yeah, they're saying, the Indian, COVID-19 has arrived, and it's the way I guess they somehow worded it and presented it. I feel, to be honest, I'm a very good human being. I don't feel anything, but I feel that my peers were offended that they are targeting the country very hard and saying that, hey, it's coming from there. I really don't know what to say, like it's I don't think they should call it, yeah, like you're saying, it shouldn't be the UK or the this, the that.
Yeah,
It should be that, what, yeah, make a mention that this comes from this country so people are aware. Um, but in this world, it's still the, everybody is everybody for themselves, if you really look at it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? They have some restrictions, but nothing really stops you from contracting it. There's no real laws
Oh
to
no,
help you. If somebody dies, nobody's
it's
really there to help your
borderless.
family
It's
or
it's
anything.
borderless. It really is borderless.
And in India, just to take a little minute, I feel like, the government has a lot of money to wipe all this out. They can send cylinders. They've got loads of stacks of money, but they're doing zero with it, right? So
Yeah,
that tells you the character of the people running the show is that, when you're spending so much money on a statue and maybe 1/30th of it is needed to help out, another city and stuff, and they don't do it. Well, I
yeah,
don't know what it says, like these are the people that are getting elected, these are the people that are being chosen. But I don't think it's the people's fault. They're just presented with five devils and you got to choose one of them.
yeah. So that's a really eloquent way of putting it, and that's what that chap from East India was saying exactly the
Hmm.
same thing that you said.
The word that I'm getting from my family is that people are dropping like flies, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, the family was there, and all of a sudden, across the street, the family isn't there in 2 weeks. Sad situation. I don't know how to put this. Like in another way, I do want to say that I don't know whose fault it is, but I also felt that in India, a lot of people did not take COVID that seriously either. Like I
Yeah.
don't know if it's an individual thing. I don't know if it's they didn't advertise it that it's as deadly, but I think they carried on business as usual, and that had a lot of effect. And we're seeing that effect right now. We're seeing people falling. Um, but the other thing is, I think the media only shows you what you want to see, so we have to be
So
careful
true.
of that. um, you know, Talking to people or family from the inside, I get, I guess a better picture of what is happening. But what we see on the news is for sure very much more grave than, than how it is. But I won't lie, the situations in India are not any great. So the news really reflects what's going on there.
Yeah, you
To the
you
flip side of this,
absolutely, yeah.
like India is actually very open. They're revealing their numbers. I don't know what's going on in China.
Yeah, no one
If you really
does. Yeah.
start looking at it from that point of view, you're like, okay, this is what we know from one country, but in that country where they didn't tell us anything, what's going on?
Yeah.
Makes you
It's
think, right? It's
it makes me not want to visit, with like there's a whole political thing about internment camps that they've got in the middle of deserts and all sorts. So yeah, there's a lot about China that's amazing. The culture is amazing. A lot of the people are amazing. But then
yeah.
they're probably listening to us now. But yeah, it's there's a lot of how do I sum it up? A lot that I don't like as well. And it's not the people, it's
No,
the
it's
high
yeah.
powers, it's crazy. And yeah, it's really kind of refreshing for a country like India to reveal those numbers, and Like, it's grim reading. It's really, really is. And like you say, you only know what's being put out by your own government and by what's being put out by the media. So how
Yeah.
much can you really trust? But Manny, thank you so much for being on the show. And one very last swift question.
Yes, go ahead.
What have you got anything to recommend from streaming services or Netflix or anything like that? Anything you'd recommend?
Ooh, I don't really know what I'm waiting for, to be honest. I think I'm on my sister's Netflix, and she has a lot of chick flicks and rom-coms and stuff that pop up. So, uh, that's a good one. Because I am a wrestling fan, I'm waiting. Well, the Young Rock
Yeah,
has
I've heard about that. Yeah.
for the first full season. They film it. They finished filming it, so that's recorded on my TV, which I'm going to start attacking. I randomly started watching Batwoman. I don't know why. I think I was a big fan of Gotham,
Yeah.
and the last few episodes I was not able to see. I don't know why. I saw only until episode 12, and then maybe I didn't do my research. I did not see the other episodes pop up.
Right, I see.
I don't know if I've got to subscribe to something or some channel to see those, but now it's
Yeah,
been a
that's
while
it.
that I'm like, forget it. So I started watching Batwoman. Um, there's something shot in Toronto, Kim's Convenience. It was the
I
last season.
I love it.
I've seen the shoots happen outside. I know exactly on which corner they're shooting. So that I've been catching up a little bit on that. The guy Simu Liu, he's gonna be in Shang-Chi in Marvel.
That looks dope. Tony
That
Lung
looks
is the reason.
amazing. So
Tony Lung's the reason I'm watching that film. He is
okay.
my early. We could go on for hours about this, but my early exposure to Asian cinema
Mhm.
was Chow Yun Fat, Tony
Oh,
Lung,
Chow Yun Fat. Yeah, I know them.
Tony Long and John Woo. Those early
John Woo.
stuff,
Yeah.
like The Killer, which has got Tony Long and Chow Yun Fat in, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, I want him to, if he kicks ass in that film, like in Hero, he does,
Mhm.
because he's the romantic kind of relationship in Hero,
Yeah.
the Zhang Yimou film. Yeah, can't wait. I'm like, when I saw his casting and I was like, yes, give me that now. I need that. So that's the most excited, apart from going back to Doctor Strange. Now, I didn't like Doctor Strange straight away, but I think it's my favorite now, because
Mm.
what Marvel have done with Hulk, which has always been my favorite Marvel character, because of the whole Universal deal, they
Yeah.
don't show him enough. I think there's some sort of screen time thing. Like in the
It
last
is.
end game, where he's like
Yes.
buried under the building bullshit and he just appears at
Mhm.
the end. I'm really kind of annoyed by that. So yeah, Doctor Strange is my favorite, but this new film, is it the Ten Rings? That's the kind of subtitle for it.
Mm.
That looks so cool. And I want, on a different note, I want, I know he's not in it, but I want Henry Golding to be the next James Bond. That's what I want. I think
Oh, I just remembered a
he's the
small
man
thing
for
that
me.
we were
Yeah.
chatting about in our last podcast. We were talking about 007 coming out in November. I remember saying that. That movie never came out.
No, it'll be this year. It'll be this year, because
I'm
there's
hoping. I'm
there's
hoping.
too much money
There's way
left
too
on the
much. Yeah.
floor. Yeah, there's like, we're
That's what I tell
talking
my
eight
friends.
nine
They're
hundred
like,
million
oh,
dollars.
007 was supposed to come out. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Look,
007 is a big film.
look what
There's
Godzilla
big
did.
promotions behind it. They're
Yeah,
not just going to roll it out like that.
yeah, Godzilla really did well.
It did,
Um,
despite, yeah.
and then Bond's my cup of tea. I think Daniel Craig's from Chester. He's from this city.
Yes.
So I can't wait. Bond's going to be rocking. I can't wait to get really bad hot dogs in the cinema and popcorn
And the
and
nachos and all that.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, give me all that. Yeah, I love it. I love it. But yeah, my personal recommendation. I love. Ties into your film. I love
Yeah.
anything with serial killers in, and I have a.
Oh,
I love classics. I love horror. I love all sorts
Yes.
of stuff, but I think it's called Night Stalker on Netflix.
Oh my God, I've seen it.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing, amazing.
You've seen it? You've seen all
Yeah,
the
I've
episodes,
seen
or?
all of them. Like, how many people did he kill?
I loved it.
Crazy. So well
All
produced,
I've
isn't
heard
it?
is
Yeah.
bad things about it, so I'm happy that you say good things
Oh
about
no,
it.
it's amazing. Have you seen it?
I've seen it. Yeah,
I I think is like Netflix, apart from the Cecil Hotel show, which was
I saw
awful.
that too. Hey,
I really hated that.
we're the same type of guys. Because yeah,
Do you know why
Cecil
it was so
Hotel,
bad?
I thought it
Because
was all right. I loved it.
the problem with it is they
Um,
repeated the same episode. Every episode's the same, like obsession with the water tank. I know that's where everything happened, but
uh-huh.
it was one episode would have covered the whole thing.
Yeah, it was really stretched out. Um, I didn't mind it because I have nothing else like to watch, or nothing really is interesting going on.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'll
yeah.
watch, I'll watch maybe 8 episodes, Cecil.
But the way they
But
marketed that,
Nights,
the way they
huh?
marketed the Cecil Hotel, the way they put the trailer together,
Mm-hmm.
they talked about of spoilers if you don't know the serial killer is in Night Stalker, but the
Yeah.
fact that those people he stayed at that hotel, they allude to it a tiny bit, and then they've got this one really short story that is stretched out. That was the issue I had. It's the first time I'd been mismarketed at by Netflix, I think, when it came to documentaries, because their
Uh-huh.
documentary output is like Making a Murderer is the best thing I think they've put out in terms of documentary. And
It
I
was,
believe
yeah.
I honestly believe Stephen Avery's innocent because you see
Hmm.
so many reports online about serial killers eventually when they're incarcerated they go to prison they always end up admitting it but yeah if he's innocent it's a true anyone that's gone to prison or put to death and they're innocent it's truly an evil act itself so yeah, I love that show. I love Night Stalker. I think it's so well put together. I love it.
I thought it was amazing. You know what? Yeah, when things like Night Stalker come up, I'm always looking for more like this. That
Yeah,
feature on Netflix, like, yeah, more of these ones.
yeah.
Um, Spiral is something that I'm waiting on. It's coming out tomorrow.
Oh, I
Spiral,
like
Book
the
of Saw.
yeah, I like the look of
So
that. Yeah,
yeah, I'm that type of guy. I'm waiting for that one, to be honest. That along with Bond to come out. So let's
can't
see
wait
when
for
that
that.
one comes out. Spiral should be pretty good. I'm excited. I think those movies. I mean, the some of the Saw movies, they're shot in Toronto. Um, just a big fan for it. I'm a big fan for all these slashers. Sometimes cheesy slashers, but
Who's
um,
your money on? Who do you want? And who's your? This is the very last question before we go.
yeah.
Who's your money on? And who do you want to play the next Bond?
Ooh, that's such a tough one. Uh,
Obviously you want to play Bond.
I'd want to play Bond. Yeah. But as well, I'm not too greedy. I'd probably play the villain in Bond because I want to switch
Yeah,
my trajectory
yeah,
in my
yeah.
acting career. So, God, there's so many talented guys, man. This is such a crazy question. I want to ask you, wasn't Killian Murphy at some point name dropped for Bond?
Uh, yeah, but I don't think he's got
But he
the.
wasn't high up in the list. He was one where I thought, okay, maybe.
He
Um,
auditioned for Batman as well. I saw clips of him and the Christian Bale Batman. He auditioned in suit, in costume, with lighting
oh,
for
okay.
Batman.
Oh man, I think they did amazing
Yeah.
with Bale though.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know about Murphy. I always see Murphy as yeah, as the bad guy, maybe a little bit more sinister and things like that.
I'll tell you mine
Great
too.
actor,
I'll tell you mine too. I want Henry Golding to be Bond because I saw
Henry.
Crazy Rich Asians, and
Mm,
I was really sauced. Myself, Vicky, and her sister were all kind of had a few drinks. I thought, let's watch something ridiculous, Crazy Rich Asians,
yeah.
and I really loved it. I loved so much about the film, and
Hmm.
Henry Golding, I loved him in Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman as well. Um, so for me, that's who I'd want to play Bond. And it's got nothing to do with diversity. It's got to do with the actor, the
Mhm.
personality, the
For
fray.
sure, he's got to bring the swag in it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's for me. Whenever you get casting, or it's all about who's the right fit, got the right energy, And
Yes.
but I think, and I really want this. I want Henry Cavill to have it
I was just gonna say, you know what?
because
For
of the
some odd
last Mission
reason,
Impossible. Because of the Mission Impossible, he smashed it. He did a great job with Tom Cruise. So yeah, uh,
there's a new Mission
yeah.
Impossible coming out. Yeah.
I was two. They shot them back to back,
Oh, they did. Oh
or
my
at least they
God.
plan to, and they've
Okay.
shot a lot of in the UK, and I've got a lot of time in terms of his filmmaking. I've got
Uh-huh.
a lot of time for Tom Cruise. I think he's an absolute genius. His work ethic is second to none. His yeah, I'm a huge Mission Impossible fan, especially Chris McQuarrie's films. He's a brilliant director, exceptional writer. So the
Mhm.
last two that he's done, Fallout and Rogue Nation, yeah, I can't wait. So sorry, mate. Who would you
Yeah. No,
who
I
do you
was
like, and
thinking.
who do you think is going to
I
be?
know Henry Cavill. He did Superman, but if he can, I don't even mind him doing both. I think he would be the guy to play Bond. That
Yeah,
would be one of my best picks, Henry.
yeah, he's great, and he's such a dude. He's such a dude.
Yeah.
Like he's a mega geek as well. Like with his gaming and he knows everything about what's that show he did on Netflix? The big sci-fi fantasy thing. The hell's it? Witcher. He knows everything about The Witcher because he's played all the games. He's actually played all the games. He's not one of these, oh yeah, I was always a big, like these comic book actors that say, oh yeah, I was
uh,
always a fan of the comic books, and that's bollocks most of the time. They're
yeah.
bullshit. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a lot of time for Henry Cavill. I really his outlook on life and what he believes in and that, and he's not super political in any which way, and I don't
Mhm.
like being I don't like being told what to do in terms of politics. But he's super positive. As Sherlock Holmes in Enola Holmes, which I didn't really like too much, he was excellent as
Mhm.
Sherlock Holmes. So yeah, I'd like to watch him in everything. But
He's solid, man. I
and
heard Idris Elba's he was considered for Bond at one point. Is
yeah,
that true?
yeah, I think he's great. Like Stringer
Mhm.
Bell from The Wire, he's amazing. He's such a good actor, such a good
He
actor.
is.
But we're gonna call it a night, and
Yeah, yeah, for
I love
sure. No, I
talking to
know
you,
it's
Manny.
probably
Yeah,
really late for you.
yeah, it's quarter past one. I've got to get up in 4.5 hours. So,
Okay, okay.
but yeah, I've got to take my dog for a poo and pee,
Yeah.
and then squeeze my missus in bed before.
Okay.
Yeah, just to confirm. Yeah, I'm back in bed now, and then I squeeze her for a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. But yeah, this has been an absolute pleasure, Manny, and I'll
A
be keep
pleasure is all mine,
I'll be
sir.
keeping in
Thank
touch.
you.
I'll be keeping in touch about the film,
Yes.
the live event in June.
Yes.
Barring anything crazy, there should be no delays or anything because I'm getting married on the 29th of March.
Ooh.
May, yeah. So yeah,
May. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, man. Sorry, fast. Congrats.
this is
Okay,
the
so you're
third.
making it
This is the
official.
third attempt now because I had COVID pneumonia in December. I got my results that I had COVID pneumonia on the day I was
Yes.
putting my wedding suit on
Oh
the
my
day of
God.
the
Yeah, yeah. You were
wedding.
saying you did allude to that. I didn't bring it up.
Yeah, that's a whole other
Um.
story. I got my results that when I was
Yeah,
putting
yeah.
my suit on in the mirror.
Uh-huh.
It was a bing bong from the NHS. You've got COVID, and then I was
Oh.
intensive care for 4 days and 2 weeks in hospital. So I nearly died. I accepted I was going to die.
Oh my
That's
God.
how that's how far it went. Yeah, I
Shit.
got messages from the head of the university that I work for my Joe job,
Yeah.
and she never sends messages like that. She sent me a video message saying because we know I've got very good rapport with people, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was. We'll have another chat at some other point. We'll just have a little chat online
Yeah, yeah.
sometime. But
No, I'd love to reconnect, man.
but
It's
it's yeah, it was insane. It's insane. Getting it is the worst thing ever. I saw someone die next to me in the hospital bed. Yeah, it was mental. Anyone that says it's not
uh,
real I'm going to say this can go fuck themselves
yeah,
because
no, there's something like it's yeah, I don't know why people say that it's not. Because
Like,
you know,
why
I think
would
maybe in the
governments?
beginning,
Yeah, why would governments want to kill all the money they get? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like, oh, and the counter to that by these conspiracy theorists is, oh, they want you to have the vaccine because they want to put a chip in you. I'm like, the chip is in your pocket. It's called your mobile phone.
yes,
You're tracked everywhere. They know everything about you
there you
anyway.
go.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, I'm going on a rant now.
No,
But no, I'm gonna
hey,
go and wake up. I've got to go and clean my dog up now or something. So
no
yeah,
worries. I just
this
want
has
to wrap
been
it up.
great, man. This has been really
I just
great.
want to wrap it up by saying, you know, you always call me the top man. You're the top man. Thank you for, you know, doing this. Thank you for encouraging me. I'm happy you were able to fight through this serious situation.
Yeah,
Um, you know, give my best regards and my hellos to Vicky.
absolutely. Yeah.
We will chat again. And yeah, more to come from me, man. Just maybe one last question that I can pose
Okay.
you. Even if we are not in isolation, can you bring it back for a third year? Because the third time's a charm. It seems like that's, you know, that's the beauty. You know,
Uh, yeah. I'll try my. Oh, why did you ask that?
you know what?
um,
Because you're it's really good that you do this, you know. You can maybe call it something else, but I think
that's the
this connection
difficulty.
that we have,
Yeah.
I want to do this every year, man. Like I said, I've got a lot of
Yeah.
juice. I just want to keep
I,
going until the
I'm
wheels
uh,
fall off.
I'm looking to do a seriously regular podcast about horror and film, and I don't want to become a million follower YouTuber, but I want to connect in this way, and I'm definitely going to do that. So there's going to be a lot of things coming out, and there's going to be at least a show. I might even just turn the festival into a podcast talking to filmmakers about their projects. So it
Something,
might
yeah.
mature that way. And yeah, I can't believe you asked that. But I
You
did
know,
mention it
because
earlier.
it's
I did
it broke
mention it
my heart,
earlier.
and I kept it in the back of my mind. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, you cannot go away.
Yeah, but it has been fun. And the
Mhm.
judges we've got, like Akiko Sterenberger, who's a poster designer, and she's worked with serious people like Coen Brothers. She designed for A Single Man. She created Bryce Dallas Howard's company logo. Her
Nice.
work is amazing, super refreshing and original. We've got Garth de Bruyne Austin. He's a documentary filmmaker. He just finished I think his first feature. He DP'd it's called The Last Horns of Africa, about rhino poaching and how devastating that is in South Africa. He's based in South Africa. And we've got Michael and Jessica Chan from the Talking with a Mouse Full podcast based in Toronto, talking
Mhm.
about foodie places to go in Toronto. And Michael and Jessica are wonderful people, and I love them to bits. And so, yeah, it's a difficult one, that Manny. It's really difficult whether to come back or not. And I will debate that for a while. Um, I've
You've
mentioned
got
it
a year.
already. Yeah, I've mentioned it already on certain other podcasts that it is going to come to an end, but
Mhm.
um, yeah, it'll mature to something else. It'll grow. It'll like Mothra in the last Godzilla film. It'll
Just
you know what I mean?
morph it into something. Yeah, we got to keep this going, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely, man. Well, thank you very much, Manny, for your
thank you.
brilliant film. Really, really, honestly, mean every word of that. And I know you're only going to get good things on the back end of this. Oh yeah, and yeah, when you're ready to send over the fully finished, polished version,
Yes.
we'll sort it out. Yeah, if it can be
Yep. That'll
before
be very soon. It's the same
if it
thing.
can
Yeah,
be before the deadline, that's ideal for potentially sending off to other people and for everyone to see
yeah,
it.
for sure.
Yeah,
No, I'll get it in
I
before.
understood that because I saw, oh, that's super great. That's shot in log. I understand what's going on. So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
No, it's just the little technicalities, but yeah. Like I said, I want to get a film in for the festival. That one is very much done, and you know what? Come back with the third year. I'm gonna have some more magic for you, please.
oh, it's going to be like emotional blackmail for the next year now, isn't it?
Right? Yeah, come on. You got to see what we're all up to, right? Year three.
Yeah,
So It's
Absolutely,
getting
yeah.
better. It's getting better, and it's all because of you. So
Oh, no,
I
I
want to thank you
appreciate
for
it, Manny.
taking the
Yeah,
time, man, for reaching out to
yeah,
everybody. You're like the ray of hope. You come in like a light. We're so excited. I am, at least. I get to connect with you. I
mm,
get to hear a different perspective, a different mindset, a different ideas. I get some encouragement from you. Um, and it's all good things. It's all things that
yeah.
me and you, we love. We live for this. We breathe this. So
Absolutely, man. Yeah, more power to you. And my sentiments exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm gonna. I have to wait for Zoom to compress the file now, so I'm gonna go disappear. And I'm not gonna make coffee, but I'm gonna have some water or something as well. So
No, you know what? I don't know if you see the time. It looks like it's Thursday.
yeah,
It's party time for me. So
yeah, yeah. add 5 hours onto that clock, and you know what time it is for me. So yeah.
Mhm.
All right. You have a good one, mate. And
Alex, always a pleasure. Thank
we will
you.
absolutely be in touch
We
very
will catch
soon.
up
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, and send me if you've got a different headshot compared to the last one you sent me
Oh
for
yes,
the poster art. That'll be really.
I do.
If you can
I do.
either you can pop it on Instagram DM or you can email it to me.
I'm gonna send it to you. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to DM.
Amazing, mate. And
I got you.
this
Anything you
will be
need.
out. This will probably be out next week now. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Top
Well,
man.
thank you so much, Alex. Cheers.
See
We're
you
gonna
soon.
talk again.
All right. Bye
Thank you.
bye. Bye.